Hopefully everyone's doing good. I'm doing amazing. We're back to another video. Hopefully you guys like a new name change, a new banner, logo. I'm trying to give everything kind of like a revamp, if you know what I mean. So straight into it. If you guys remember the game H1Z1 Just Survive, or also known as Just Survive, also known as Z1 for the Battle Royale, also known as King of the King of the Kill H1Z1, or just Z1. It's had a lot of name changes in what people call it. So the main thing is H1Z1 Just Survive was the survival type of the game, while H1Z1 King of the Kill was more of the Battle Royale, or Z1 Battle Royale, which actually I kind of like both. They kind of like resemble each other, but straight into it. Just Survive was more, and we're more talk about Just Survive also, but some of these pros, cons, and what we miss, don't miss, also go into the Battle Royale. Survival type. I think what people liked about Just Survive, it was more of a realistic zombie world. It wasn't like crazy where, it just wasn't like Left 4 Dead. I mean, I love Left 4 Dead, but it wasn't crazy like that type of stuff, or it wasn't like this or that, or it wasn't like fire zombies which can fly at you like a pterodactyl and pick you. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. It was just kind of realistic in a way, if that makes sense. And that's what we liked about it. I think that's what everyone liked about it. It's just because you could kind of do your own thing, and it was kind of nice, peaceful. Let me put it that way. Very peaceful game sometimes. But that's the best way I could put it. Like your memories, a lot of people remember the game, but I think that's the best way to put it, really. I think people who's been there since day one know what I'm talking about, the memories and stuff like that. So the pros of this game. You can customize a good amount of your gear, like your skins, and then this goes for the Battle Royale part, like your vehicles, that type of deal, which actually was really cool. So I saw that the type of gear, or a lot of skins you could do, there was a lot you could do there, which personally I think is awesome, because if you're like me, I love make sure I'm pretty decked out, looking pretty dope, you know what I mean? Oh my lord. Okay, next, gun mechanic. The gun mechanics in this game was pretty simple. You wasn't having to build a gun or spend an hour grinding or get each piece of the component weapon, but if this piece doesn't match this piece or this piece, and you didn't have to refill your ammo cartridges with something you found. It was just basic. It was just a basic game. Basic gun mechanics is always the win. You wasn't have to fill your bullets with gunpowder, lead, and this, that. You wasn't have to loading it like a musket. It was just nice and basic. Versus a lot of other games, which, oh lordy, sometimes they go overkill with it. I think that's what attracted more people was. It was a basic game you could hop on for an hour and hop right back off. I think that's what people liked. And if you're like me, that's what I liked. Because I have a job. I go to college. I don't have time to farm 10 hours to get a 2x2. So, I think a lot of people agree on that. Now, overall, the mechanics of the game, like surviving, the guns, vehicles, simple. Very simple. Which I think that was another thing that appealed to people. It wasn't like Scum, where it was you could get a disease, and that disease you had to find a cure for that, but this, that, whatever, or this gun, it was something simple. It was just nice. It was a nice ran mechanics of overall everything. Your health, your stamina, I mean, it was just, like I said, it was a nice, simple mechanic to the game. It wasn't like Scum. It wasn't like DayZ with the vehicles. It wasn't like Rust with the guns. It wasn't like Ark with dinosaurs. You had to get the right meat and this and that and that. And I mean, we all know, like, a T-Rex ain't gonna eat no strawberries, you know what I mean? But y'all get the point. And if you're like me, I think that's what also drew me to the game. It was a very simple mechanic. There were two versions of the game, or two split offs. The survival version, Just Survive, and the Battle Royale, Z1 Battle Royale. And I think that's what helped a lot of player pop, because let's say you got bored of Just Survive and you just wanted to like work on your recoil, this, that. You could go to Battle Royale, or let's say you warmed up, you could go into your server with your friends and bada bing, bada boom. I think that's a big plus, is instead of them going from Just Survive into, let's say, pub, they're staying in that, keeping the player count high, having other people get on. So I think that was also a big plus. Next on the list is, it's just not grindy. It's not like Rust or Ark, where you have to continue to farm and farm and farm and farm and farm. Now, again, what I would kind of relate it to, but you could get a little DayZ out of it with kind of the system of finding gear, but it did not take as long. The map wasn't a million by a million. It was just something less. And the map was kind of like the way to put it, I think a lot of people will agree, is like Pleasant Out, or it's like the GTA map. You kind of remember Pleasant Alley and the police station and this and this, and I think that's another, of course, big thing. It was not a grindy game. Now, if you went on to build 10 bases with your clan, oh yeah, it's gonna become a little grindy. But I mean, just for a solo player in Rust to build something, you have to get rocks, you can get killed, just that. Ark. Oh, don't even get me started when you get started in Ark. That's a whole nother day. Oh my lord. Next, there's PvP and PvPe, excuse me, in this game. A lot of games have that, but it's still a pro, is because maybe one game just doesn't have it. You don't know. Some people are missing out there. Personally, I think PvE is a little meh, but that's just me. But you know. Let's get into the cons, you guys. Okay, you know what? I'll save that one for last. Base building. I feel like a lot of people would agree that the base building was kind of a very basic system in the game. And it was unique. Don't get me wrong. It was a unique system, but it just needed some work. It needed a good amount of work, to be honest with you. Okay. And rating 2, along with that, just so I can keep them in the same category, was a little easy. It just wasn't, I don't know, if you had 10 people, a big group, let's say, it was a pretty easy raid, and it wasn't much defensive side there, if that makes sense. So that's how I'd kind of word that, if that makes more sense. Large groups kind of dominated the server. I think a lot of people know what I talk about when you go to like the main part, Pleasant Alley, stuff like that. That large people dominate the servers, and that is true. But along with that is, if you were solo and took them all out, bada bing, bada boom, and you have all their loot. Okay. Okay. Along with that, servers died out pretty quick. I don't know if a lot of people remember that, but they really kind of did die out really quick. And your loot doesn't transfer from server to server. You stayed on that one server. So, but the they died out pretty quick. Like, really quick. Like uncomfortably quick. Okay. Next on my list, pay to win. There were these airdrops you could get, and they was pay to win. And the CEO of the company, before really when the game was in pre-production, was there would be no pay to win. Also PTW, pay to win, PTW, however you want to put it. But after he left the company, they got someone else in there. You could actually buy airdrops with real money. Now, did that help the game? Did that bring in revenue? Of course it did. Anything brings in revenue. But was it the revenue they were using to benefit the game? No. And if you remember, a lot of the updates in the game were just not really not good. But then they added in that new weapon at the end. That I can't remember, the 5445. It was just an OP gun, and that's what also dropped. People want a new gun. They gave them a new gun, but it was not at all well received by the community. And I think you know what I'm talking about if you were part of that era with those updates. Next, oh, you guys all remember this: the hackers and glitches and bugs. Oh my goodness gracious! If you ever had a server you did not meet a hacker, you're a godsend, really. You really are a godsend. Hackers will. I think I've never met the amount of hackers I did in one game versus all my other games combined. I mean, it was just, it seriously was unreal. And everyone knew. Like, it wasn't like this was like, it was almost normal. It was like the weather, it was almost normal. You will never have normal weather, but y'all get the point. And it was just, it's insane to think that a game, which is so popular, at some point the game hit 150 something thousand people had the glitches, the bugs, and even the hackers. And that's, in my eyes, that's pretty that's pretty crazy. Because you think they'd be like, okay, we have such a big community, this, that, but you know, everyone is different. Everyone is different. Okay, next part. It's just, God, those hackers. I got like PTSD or something from them. When you walk through the world, major FPS drops for big bases. I know in every game you're gonna have that, but in H1Z1 it hit you harder than like a Rust Duo Virgin humongous compound that took him 50 hours. But it goes along with the large groups dominating the servers. They had the big bases with the loots. It's crazy to think about that. Next, you also remember the hitbox. The hitboxes, I wouldn't say they were a big deal, let me put it that way, but they was something that you would more or less so remember. I wouldn't say the first thing you remember is, oh, the hackers or this, that, but the actual hitboxes weren't something major, but they were still enough to be like, okay, that only makes sense. It's like the Ash from Rainbow Six. Ping spikes, even if you were in your own area, they were pretty high due to the type of servers Daybreak used and the type of hosting they used. But that was also a big one. Along with that, there were a lot of DDoSes for the server shutdowns. Sometimes the servers just weren't running good, they shut down. But DDoS was a big one. An extremely big one that happened actually quite a bit. It was like a little, it was quite a bit. Oh my lord. But I want to know in the comments what you guys miss and what you don't miss. And maybe I forgot something. Maybe we'll even have a part 2. You never know. But hopefully you guys are liking everything and just kind of being there on this road. But be safe, you guys. Stay safe. Subscribe, comment, like. Okay. And I'll see y'all around. See ya.